Honor everyone. Honor to the chat. Honor to everyone that's watching. Honor to you all. Let me just say, peace, love, light to everyone. Hope everyone is staying safe in these times of what's going on. I hope your loved ones are safe. I hope you all are in great health. Hope you all have been taking the proper precautions also to keep your immune system up and to stay away from those um who are the ones who are not taking precautions, right, to be safe. Because it's a lot of people like that out there. The other day when I went to the supermarket, I was upstate New York. I went to the supermarket. There was a conversation where some Caucasian folks was like, they don't have to worry about that like that up there because it's not up there like that. The influenza, aka the coronavirus, right? But there was this lady, she was just coughing like with her mouth open, right? It was coughing all over the place. And I'm like, yo, that is so nasty. And if people don't get how a virus is spread, it's because of the untidiness of other people. Pretty much. Now the source of where the virus comes from, that's for later's live stream because I'm going back live later on. But this live right here, I just want to say this. When I went to honor at IMQ, original Lone Wolf, Wilk Motley the third, Miss Nia, Big Brother Big Scoop, Awake the Red Pit, Selena Morel, honor to you all. When I went to my uncle's funeral in Orlando. And when I went there, this is where I started making peace within myself. It wasn't only because it was me saying to myself, that's my last time totally shutting down from the loss of a loved one, right? Because in my younger days, I was the tough one. I was the one that the family looked towards for strength. I was the one that made nothing get to me or affect me, right? Nothing, nothing at all. And it takes a toll where at one point nothing gets to you, but then the more and more you go in life, you see this person falling out, that person falling out. And at first, it starts off like, people that you used to associate with, and you're like, oh, damn, oh, I feel sorry for the family. And then it goes from that to uh, um, a friend you used to go to, an old friend, right? You used to go to elementary school with, and you're like, damn, that person fall out. Then it's someone you grew up with. Then you're like, damn, but you're still staying strong. Then it's a cousin. First, it's a distant cousin. Then it's a distant aunt. Then it's a close cousin. Then it's a close aunt, right? Then it's half your neighborhood. Half the dudes them that I grew up with in my neighborhood back home. Then when I came to the mainland, that also came to the mainland. They're all gone due to gun violence, right? Then it's one of my closest cousins, right? Gone gun violence, AK-47 straight to the face. Okay, that was one of the biggest mob hits couple of about 5 years ago. Then my father, gone. He was sick. Then my grand aunt, gone. My father, my cousin, my grand aunt all share the same plot. They're in the same plot. My uncle bought a family grave for him and his remaining children because every year he lost a son to gun violence, and his remaining children that he had here with him plus himself on the mainland, he bought a family plot. And the one that we was like, chances are it's going to happen, a week before he got murdered, he was set up. He was set up. But a week before he was set up, my father looked at him and told him, stop what it is that you're doing. Fall back and gather yourself. Right? Because I see you dying in 1 week's time. And when my father said that to him, my cousin was laid out in the middle of the street. Yeah, he was a wild boy. He was laid out in the middle of the street, like when people lay down in the snow with their arms and their legs open. That's how he was laid out in the middle of the street, just staring up at the sun. And he got up and looked at my pops like, what are you talking about? No, that's not going to happen. And the same club that I told all my cousins when they came to the mainland, don't go to, because it's one way in, one way out. We call it the Coffin. It's Albany Manor in Brooklyn. We say anybody that you have issues with back home, or anyone that you're hanging out with that has issues with anyone back home, that's a place that people go to catch them, follow them home. Lo and behold, that's what happened. The thing is, he wasn't supposed to have been there. The person that set the whole thing up called him there, right? But long story short, he and the other brothers in the car ended up getting murdered. Then a year after that, my father died. And that's about six years ago. And for 6 years, I was lost, right? Sometimes I thought I found myself back, but I was going back and forth through the motions. My memories started becoming sketchy because now depression hit. Because mind you, for years you've been the strong one, and what happens when you can't hold it in no more? And then it comes at a time where you feel like there's no one that you could turn to and talk to. So it's just you. Then it's like the ones that you can't, that you think you could turn to and talk to. It's like a yeah, okay, yeah, but they don't get it. They don't understand. And they don't try to get it. Right? And then you build distances between old friends that you grew up with, and you build distances between your family members. Right? And the distance doesn't come from, well, I just don't want to deal with you no more. The distance comes from something that you're fighting within yourself because you're on a total shutdown. It goes from that you wake up every day happy to be up, but then it goes from you wake up every day like, God damn, I'm still here. Right? And then you find a medium. When I started this channel, it gave me back some form of hope and it gave me back some form of strength. And it was also very therapeutic, right? Then when I came along and issues started arising with other folks from other platforms, it was to the point where I literally, literally wanted to conjure up an old self to go and literally take these people's heads off. And one day it hit me that, you know what? I'm not angry at those people. I'm angry at myself. I have, I had a lot of wars raging, waging within myself. And at some point, you have to make peace with not only all that has happened around you, but all that's going on within you. And at some point, because we always say, well, I'm going to work on self, and then we start off, and then we fall off, and then we start off, and then we fall off, or we start off, and then someone comes and has nothing good but straight negative comments to say every single time. And then that gets to you because you're already in that mode of depression, right? And then you fall off. Now, I sat down and I had a conversation with my grandmother, and it awoken something in me. And I said to myself, no matter what, I'm going to try not to let nothing get to me, right? I'm going to go back to like how it was, but it wasn't like not let nothing get to me where I'm shutting myself back off again. You know what I mean? And the first thing I'm going to do is make peace within my family with the ones who I need to make peace with. And to the ones whom I've been distanced with to bridge that gap. And I still have more family members to reach out to. No lie. Still have more family members to reach out to. But after that conversation with my grandmother, I told myself no matter what, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying working on self. Right. Then I get the word that my uncle, my uncle's like he was like 3 years older than me, 3, 4 years older than me. We grew up, we grew up partially together at one point. Uh, we drifted apart. We reconnected back. He was very supportive with me of my photography career, my art career. Very supportive of me when I decided to take on auto body like my father. He was just very supportive of any and everything, and he pushed you to be the best at what you wanted to be. Even though the conversations stayed more to phone conversations, it had been a couple years since we had actually seen each other, right? Though when I got the news that he passed away and how he passed away, in the gruesome manner of how he passed away, but what gave me a little comfort was the fact that it was something that he loved doing, right? He had a motorcycle club and a car club. He had. He was a musician that traveled all over, right? And he died on his bike, on his motorcycle, which my other uncle's rebuilding it right now. But when I went to my my uncle's funeral, I saw people of many ethnic backgrounds, right? And I watched this pack. It wasn't even a church. It was more like an auditorium, a big as hell auditorium. Because he had a motorcycle salute. They rode by the house. They all came to the church. Well, half of them came to the church, and the other half went to go set up because they were keeping an after event also for him. It was like a 3-day event that they kept, right? But when those members, those not just the members of his car club and his motorcycle club, when these people went on top of that stage, went on stage and was speaking of him, not one person had a dry eye. They they wept for him. I've seen the most grown of grown men break down, crying, bawling. Men of all different complexions, Caucasian, Hindu, Asian, melanated people, right? And in that moment, I made peace within myself and let go of any animosity fully that I may have held for anyone, right? And I promised myself, no matter what, I will look at that moment when I hear these men and women speak of the impact that he made on their lives. One person that came there only known him for 2 months, and he was the one they couldn't stop him from balling. He was balling. He only known him for 2 months. You hear me? This was a Caucasian dude, and he was balling. You had another brother that said that he was not only a brother figure to him, but a father figure to him because he saved him. My uncle saved him from being out there in the streets and pulled him into the motorcycle club. Right? That was a brother. Then you had a Caucasian girl, young girls. I think she was about like 18, 19, about 19, 20. Right? She didn't know where to go, what to do. And he gave her direction when he pulled her into the motorcycle club. Then you had another sister that it looked like she had a promiscuous past. And she said he taught her how to respect herself and be a woman. Yeah. Then you had an elderly lady with 7 sons, Hispanic lady, 7 sons. Describe her interaction with him, her son's interaction with him, and each of her 7 sons. 3 are actually her blood, and the other 4, she just took them in. She just took them in. They all wept for him. None of them had nothing negative to say about him. Nothing. Now, I had childhood issues with my uncle, right? And I held on to that for years up into my adult age because I was still looking at the situation through a child's eye. And when I really had time to sit down, and I sat down in front of his ashes because he was cremated. That's how bad the accident was. My grandmother has his ashes in the house. When everyone left, because I'm a private person when it comes to certain things. I like to deal with things privately. And my connection with the deceased is on a different level than other folks out there. I sat down in front of his ashes and I held a conversation. And I was bringing up certain things from when I was a child. And then I realized it wasn't that he was picking on me, it was that he was teaching me to be tough, to be strong, right? And the good outweighed the bad. But sometimes we just focus on the small, the minute bad, and we assume and we assume and we assume, and our assumptions is wrong, right? And we take that small amount and we make it into something that was never there, right? And spoke, had a nice conversation with him, and I told him like it was sad that it was sad that upon his passing was when it hit me that this man, along with my dad, were the two main men that made me so strong. For all those years. I went through hell, but I made peace and I asked for his forgiveness. And you literally felt the gush of wind in this house blew by. And my other uncle, the night that same night, gave me my uncle's ring, right? His favorite ring that he liked to wear. And I keep that with me everywhere I go. My thing to you guys is when I made peace, that moment I made peace with anything and anyone that I felt like I probably had an issue with within myself. And I just decided like to let shit go. You see what I'm saying? When I came back from Florida, I was tested. I had tested moments. Yeah. And it's so funny because I had a dream about someone that I parted ways with, that I came back to mend fences with, and I had a dream that that person was walking out my driveway and my house was on fire. That person really came because that person had built up animosity to get some form of payback or what they think is revenge to burn my house down. And I still did the right thing by that person. So if my eyes close today, I will leave here with no regrets of anything. And my experience from my uncle's funeral is that I'm like, look at this. Look how everyone of all different backgrounds can come together and weep for this one man right here. And look how he touched so many lives and they impacted his life. And they're not fighting or warring about any form of skin complexion, any form of any of this type of stuff, right? That was my third confirmation at my uncle's funeral to the path of which I am to take. And you will never, ever see me anymore on this platform or any platform beef with any of my brothers and sisters out there, any of the other American Indian platforms or platforms that are not American Indian platforms. It won't happen. If there's anything, it's not. If there's any form of um anything that seems like it's heating up, these are things that are handled privately, right? I have no ill will towards any man and woman out there. I have no quarrels with any man and woman out there. My path is my own to travel. And as we travel our paths, we will come to interact with others. Sometimes they're meant to be around for a long time. Sometimes it's just meant to be for the moment, right? But despite if there's any negative impact or positive impact, just learn from interactions that we have with each other. So we can take good things from these interactions and strengthen each other, right? I'm not here to wage any war with anyone. It's not what I'm here for. I'm here to just share information on this platform, public information. For those who want the information, they can come here for the information. That is it. And you can take the information and you can uplift yourself, your house, your community if you choose to. But what I've learned is when you go out in this world with hate or any form of animosity in your heart, the karma that comes back to you, it is not a good one. And I had to watch everything, damn near everything and everyone in my life fall before me, right? That is not something that I wish on anyone. And back in the day when my cousin was murdered, the first thing would have been to get some form of payback, right? But my uncle was like, leave it alone. He was tired. He was done. He was tired. Like this is the same uncle where he has twin boys, and one was murdered by the soldiers and police back home, and they blamed the other twin for the murder of his own brother. They set him up, right? And we spent years fighting that case to get him out. And when he finally did get out, they harassed him every single day. They don't harass him anymore, right? Because at some point certain precautions was taken. But when his second oldest passed, it was like he was like, you know what? We leave it now in the hands of the creator. We leave it in the hands of the ancestors. And that is what any issues that I have with anyone, I leave it in the hands of the creator. I leave it in the hands of the ancestor. And I walk with peace within me. That is it. I walk with peace, love within me. That is my advice to you all out there, right? Never let anything break you. Because when you're that strong one and you break, you're going to see that a lot of people was waiting for the day for you to break. That's another thing that I learned. And then a lot of people will come along also. Never hold on to any form of issues that you have within your heart. Release it. Let it go. If you have something going on with someone, speak to that person. If you feel like you cannot speak to that person because you feel like it's going to be like an argument and you just can't bother with it, you write it down. You write down what that issue is. Write it down. But whatever you got to do, get it out of you. It's like a wound. When you have a wound, no matter how small it is, and you don't treat it and you let it fester, it will infect your every being. It will rot. And then when you want to fix it, it's an uphill battle or it's damn near impossible to fix it. It took me years to get back. This year, I felt it. I felt it. And a lot of things came up to where I could have went straight ham crazy, but the urge to argue with anyone, the urge to go back, I just let people. I just stopped. I just stopped arguing with people. I just stopped going back and forth with people. I just stopped. Right. I just stopped. And what I do, I go and I pray. I healed the wounds that was with my immediate family in my household, and we have our family dinners. We do our birthday celebrations. We just stay close to each other now. And you'd be surprised that when you heal back that bond with your family, with your loved ones, it's like you have the world. And that's what matters, right? That is the most important thing to work on. Any space, any distance that you have with family, that's the most important thing to work on. You work on self and work on fixing your family. Now, when I when I felt out of contact with self, I had some brothers and sisters that will ride for me at any moment, near or far, even if it was just a phone call. And I fell out. I fell off the face of the earth, and I just stopped communicating with everybody. So I'm working on self, working on family, and my next step that I'm working on right now is to reach back out to these brothers and sisters and reconnect back with them. I got a couple of them, and I apologize to them. It takes nothing for a man to apologize. It doesn't take away from your manhood. If you're a woman, it doesn't take away from your womanhood. It's nothing to apologize. It takes nothing to apologize. It doesn't take anything away from you. Right? And when I got back in touch with these brothers and sisters, it was as if we was all hanging out yesterday. Nothing changed. And these were people that I've been through battles with. Battles with these people. Physical battles out there with. telling y'all, man, never let nothing break your mind and your spirit. Never. Strengthen that mind and strengthen that soul. Strengthen your spirit. Don't let nothing seep in and affect you. Nothing at all. Because there are spiritual entities out there that feed on that shit. And you're going to find yourself every night fighting with these spiritual entities. Okay? And it's a hell of a fight when you're fighting self, you're fighting these spiritual entities, and you're fighting physical out there in the physical world as well. You can only fight but so much for so long until something gotta give. When I sat down for my uncle's funeral, I'm gonna put up some videos of like with the bikers riding by and stuff and show you guys in the post, right? But a great peace started coming over me, right? And we're all not going to view the world through with the same vision, but it's do we all have the same goal for peace and love, right? And resurrection of ancestry, hmm? Honoring ancestry, keeping alive ancestry, and on a worldly, earthly, universal level, respecting our earthly brothers and sisters, no matter what shade or complexion they come in, as long as they come with respect and honor to us, also. This, to me, is what it's about. I cannot dictate to another man how to feel or woman how to feel and how to express themselves or what their experiences were in life. I cannot. But what I can do is I can assure everyone that everyone, every American Indian, every original American, I have no quarrels with you. I have no animosity towards you. I have no ill will towards you. I want nothing but the best for you all, no matter which direction it is that you are going in. Okay. And for anyone that is not of American Indian, original American Indian descent, I have no quarrels with you. I have no hatred, no animosity, none of these things towards you. You are my earthly brothers and sisters, and you have my utmost respect. And respect is given where it is due. This is it. So for the platforms out there, the Dane Calloway platforms, the Chief Kalanago platforms, Aboriginal Power, Tonkiness One, um, shit, even the pro-black community platforms, Kurt Mayo, Con Drops, uh, um, damn, it's so much of it. It's so much about we have. There's so many platforms out there. Sister Phoenix Moon, BCFC. I have not forget about you, sister. Don't think for a day that I've forgotten about you. I have not. And I still think back to what you have done for me when you already know, because you didn't have to do that, right? You didn't have to do that. And you got such a backlash from that. I have never forgotten. But to all the platforms out there, right? To the Ahua Cool Network, all the platforms. There's just so much going on right now. And a lot of what's going on has been knocking close to my home door. My mother lost about 5 co-workers and about 6 of her patients. My mom, right? So my aunt, same thing. One of my friends, same thing. They're all in the medical field. Okay. So when I say we are not in the time to be beefing or arguing with each other, this is not the time. And if you guys are out there, platforms are arguing and beefing with each other out there, stop it. Right? You don't have to be on anyone's platform arguing with them, beefing with them. You just drop your information and you keep it moving. That's all. You don't have it doesn't have to be none of that. You know, there is something going on out here, and if folks research and track the history of this virus, which is man-made, because I've gone back already so far back into the 1800s with this, and the pattern and the length of which it's allowed to go for has not changed. Now, if folks don't see that this virus is mostly hitting the inner cities, we have no time to be arguing with each other. None. This virus is hitting, yes, it is hitting everyone, but for some reason that we know, it's hitting most of people of melanated skin that has some form of asthma, that is recovering from cancer, whom are elderly with kidney issues. Okay? Pay attention. Now, it's not just us that they're targeting. Don't get me wrong. Because when you go over towards Europe, in the numbers of how the counts are, it's majority of their own. But because we are majority here, we are going to be the majority on the numbers board of casualties. Okay? This thing is about money. Period. Money. So we don't have the luxury. We don't have the time. And a lot of what when I used to pay attention to these platforms, because I unsubscribe from every because of all of the drama. I unsubscribe from every platform. Every platform. It was just too much. So when I'm speaking now, I'm speaking for when I was subscribed to these platforms and what was going on. Okay. We have no time for this shit. None. All right. We are all brothers and sisters at the end of the day. Okay. Find the middle ground. If you can't find the middle ground, just stay away from each other. Just stay away from each other until maybe one day you could find the middle ground, or one day the creator guides you back to each other to make some form of peace with each other. But this, what's going on right here, right now, takes precedence over anything. Because what you're watching is literally the world's biggest psyops test. This is a test to see if they could have shut down the world. And what happened is so many people bought into the test that people are literally reaching out to these public officials to put them on lock. So it went from being a test to now it's about to be something, because the sheeps are asking for it to be locked down. This is the time to pay attention to who's your biggest enemy. Well, not enemy. Who's the biggest evil and who's the lesser evil, right? These beefs, these fights, these arguments, at the end of the day, when my eyes close, none of this is coming with me. None of you guys is coming with me. It's going to be me alone in that earth. I'm going to go how I came, by myself. And I'm not trying to leave with any form of animosity in my heart towards anyone. Period. No one. Like I said, when I went to Florida, man, when you keep when you distance yourself from one side of your family for a good portion of time, and it takes a funeral for you to even meet cousins that you've never met, but are your uncle's children. That's a sad thing, and it's not a good feeling. And then you realize that they're cool as fuck. Mm? And you realize for years that you've been holding yourself back. For people who has childhood issues, I suggest that you get it out. That's my suggestion. Get it out some way, somehow. Get it out. Let it go. Release it. For folks out here, look, man, you can't get up every day looking at war with someone, right? Can't sit here and war with someone and then in the same breath say brother, sister. At some point, you just leave each other alone, or you mend fences with each other. But my advice to you guys out there, to you platforms out there, to the other platforms out there is, if you can't get along, stay away from each other. But stop bashing each other. It's not a good look. And if if there's was some sort of agenda out there to make people of American Indian descent look away, you're feeding into it. So I was educated a lot more on our people's history when I did go to Florida. I was able to sit down with other Arawaks, right? I've seen documents that will blow your mind. And I'm telling you guys, stop fighting with each other. There is, you'll be surprised the folks out there that are watching that wants to come and help, but because they see certain things, they like, nah, they're not getting involved with it. That has such powerful information. My grandfather shared some stuff with me that I didn't even know. Didn't even know he had them. Yeah. So I'm going home very soon to take care of some stuff. My advice to everyone is even if you can't get along with each other, just stay out of each other's way. That's it. Stay out of each other's way. This is why I don't comment anymore on any of the platforms out there. You know? I don't comment anymore on those platforms. I don't do it. I leave them be. Because at the end of the day, I didn't know any of these folks before I even came on this YouTube thing. So I'm not going to take anything personal with any of these folks. God damn it, even root words. No animosity towards you. None. This shit is minor. It is less than a drop in a bucket of water. It is less than a drop in the ocean. This right here, that some of us hold on to and hold so major, it really is not. Okay? Hate for each other, nothing good comes from it. Universal law, respect each other's boundaries, respect each other's personal space, respect. Whether you have issues or not, respect should not fade. Don't assume. All right. I mean, that's what I just wanted to say, man. My mindset towards the world is not what it, as we grow, we evolve, or as we get older, we learn more, we mature more, our eyes open more to certain things. Everyone's eyes is not going to open at the same time or in the same direction. But whichever direction your eyes open in, just remember At the end of the day, never get never fall so deep that you cannot respect one's wishes or personal space, have any form of or not have any form of boundaries. Okay? That's why again, I have repeat, you will never, the past is the past when it comes to any issues I've had with any platforms out there. But from here on out, you will never, never see me speak ill will of anyone or anyone's platform on this platform. I have no time for it. None. I'm not saying I'm 100% there, but I'm pretty close to it. The big thing that really helped me out was fixing what became broken in my house, which healed a major part of me. Making peace with my uncles for not really being there when I was younger, my aunts, on my father's side. Reconnecting back with old brothers and sisters. Yeah. It helps. It helps a great deal, right? And it's just one more thing that I have to do. But I have peace. I could tell you straight up, I have peace. And for anyone else that don't have peace out there within themselves, you need to go dig deep and find it. All right. I have it, despite no matter what anyone might think or believe. And one's belief is their belief. What one thinks, that's their thoughts. Can't tell you what to think. Can't tell you what to believe. Can't tell you what to assume. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is how I feel, and I'm at peace. Never put anyone on a higher pedestal than self. Never you do that, don't put anybody on no higher pedestal than you. Okay? That's another thing. But honor, cherish, and love each other. Make amends, make peace if you can. And if you know the character of a person, then you should know how to deal with that person. If you know this person here is not a person to get too close to, got to deal with them from afar, deal with them from afar. Right? We learn by experience. Sometimes we call on some of the things that we go through. Sometimes we call that upon ourselves and don't even know it. But we have to start learning how to spot those behaviors and stop it before it even happens. Right? So like I've experienced some stuff this year. I started experiencing some stuff last year. Some eye opening stuff, some eye changing stuff. That made I just sit back and reflect because I'm seeing these things. And then sometimes I'll hear a brother or a sister mention these things, and I'm like, boom, confirmation, right? But sometimes some people will mention certain things, and they felt like, well, um, They felt like you probably wasn't leaning in that direction, but you already were. You just was waiting for that confirmation. Everyone's confirmation don't come at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Life is also all about patience as well. When you're rushing, you can't see the whole field. When you take your time, you can see the whole field. If you're playing chess, you can't rush through chess unless you mastered the whole board, right? But some folks got to take their time. That's how some people mind operate. Don't rush and don't be rushed and don't feel like you have to rush. Take your time. I'm telling y'all, try to find some form of peace. Try to find some form of common ground. If you can't do that, just stay out of each other's way until you can do that. That's it. That's just all that I wanted to say. Right? It's nothing but love for everyone. You know, that's all. Like you straight universal love for everyone. I've met some good people when I started my channel, and I met some not so good people when I started my channel. Right? But I've learned and I've had positive experiences from both. Me and Kalanaga, we had our falling out. Where I went wrong, I made someone else's issue with Kalanago become my issue, and I should have never done that. We had our own separate issues. And I had wished no ill will or animosity towards him. Okay? None. No ill will, no animosity towards Brother Aboriginal Power, towards Brother Autonomous One, towards Brother Root Words. None. Chief Holiday. None. Ty Data. None. None. Curry made you from another mother. You still are my brother. None. No animosity. Me and me and Sister Phoenix Moon, we was close. We were very close at one point. But because of my issues that I had with the ones that was around her, we became distant. I created that distance. It wasn't her. It was me. Right? But I wish no ill will, no animosity towards her. I wish her nothing but the best in all her endeavors and all that she is doing. None. I even met the sister. I met her. She's been to my grandmother's house. You know, that's what I'm telling you guys, man. Sometimes certain things you just have to let go. Certain things, certain topics that people bring up, it's not worth taking on. Is this person really American Indian or not? It is the intent of the person. Does the person wish good for you? Does the person genuinely want good for you? It is the intent of the person. Okay. Like she's an idol. Like whether a person look, here's where I'm at. If you are Jewish, if you are Christian, if you are Muslim, if you are Hindu, if you are Buddhist, if you want to sit down and pray to the goddamn golden calf, I have no issues with that. That is your thing, right? See, and that's what I'm saying. You know, like she says, she started a fire with you on Facebook and a bunch of other people. But uh, somehow you guys should, come to some form of men's and cool that fire. Do y'all understand what's exactly what's going on right now? What is coming? American Arawaks, honor, brother, honor. Like what a person pray to, want to worship. I don't care. That's their thing. That's their thing. And when we start to trample upon that, right? It's a burden on this land. Yes, that is true. That is true. What's going on is a burden on this land. That is true. But when a person starts to trample upon another person's free will, it is a person's free will if they want to idol worship. That's their free will. You know what I mean? How is it harming you? How is it hurting you? And if you are a person that don't idol worship and you know what idol worship is, then it's no way it can affect you, right? It can't affect you. You know what it is. I'm just saying if that's what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but from what I'm reading, from what you're saying, you know what I mean? It's like if I take a bite of a sandwich right now and I'm chewing it and I swallow, is your stomach going to get full? No, my stomach is going to get full because I'm the one eating the sandwich, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like all these Facebook beefs, these YouTube beefs. At some point, man, if y'all can't see what is happening, yeah, there's a lot of people out there that has influence on others. But again, it is the free will of a man and a woman if they want to let someone have that form of power over them. Because with the amount of information that is out here in this world right now, you should not let anyone have any form of major influence over you without you going out there and actually doing your own research of this information. You see what I'm saying? Free will. It's like I said, like what's going on right now with this quarantine. It is the sheeps that are asking for the quarantine. Do you hear me? It would have. I have family that works in government, very high up in this government, and when I tell you that the people are asking for the quarantine to stay longer, you know what I mean? FB ain't real, but look how many people wear masks and doing distancing. Yeah, I mean the mask and the social look. That's what I said. It's free will. That's why you hear me talk about the sheeps in life. You will always have sheeps, and the sheeps will always be the majority. Okay, the sheeps will always be the majority because people. You're going to have people out there that live their life to be led. They don't want to be free will of mind, body, soul. They want to be led. It doesn't matter what you say to them. It doesn't matter what information you push to them. It will go in one ear and come out the other. They be like, yeah, 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 yeah. They want to be led. We cannot change that. We can only continue to push information in hopes that one or two will catch on and go out there and start freely doing their own research and wake up. Okay? But don't hold personally or hold to heart what someone else is doing or the influence that someone else has have. We can't save everybody in this world. Much love to you also on Earth Truths. Much love to you also. You know, exactly at the real truth, real growth. What you're looking at, you're in the age of the Walking Dead. You're seeing what the Walking Dead actually is right now. This is it. They gave you the heads up with all the movies and sitcoms and stuff that they brought out of what's coming. This is just a prelude to what's coming. What's coming is the vaccine. You see that BCG vaccine that they're talking about, that's the vaccine that they've started giving out in China, that's lowering the coronavirus, the influenza. It's influenza, in my opinion, from what I've been reading. That's been lowering the influenza, aka coronavirus, outbreaks that's going on in China. It's the BCG vaccine. In that vaccine, they have put yellow fever in that vaccine. So again, when you're having these outbreaks and these outbreaks and these outbreaks, the history shows it comes from the military first, then it goes into the general population. After they've had an actual physical war, then there's a mass outbreak of a virus. After the mass outbreak of the virus, they come up with a vaccine, and now they give you the vaccine. But when they come up with the vaccine, in the vaccine, they have another virus in the vaccine that they're giving you. In the BCG vaccine, in an article that I was reading, and I'm going to share that article either later today, but I'm going to do a live later today, definitely, on the history of influenza and some of the wars and how it's affected the people. And it's a lot of information to drop. So I'm trying to figure out how to drop this information. American Arawak shared a lot of information with me, and the brother has a lot of information as well. Okay, so it's a lot out here, a lot of information. This is not something simple. But I was reading this article, the science article, and it was saying that in the BCG vaccine, that I believe in the 70s or the 60s, they put yellow fever in that vaccine. So when they're not curing, when they're um halting one thing in the body, they're adding another also as well. And I don't know if you guys ever heard Super Sly 75 on his platform speak of viral overload. When you have too many viruses in your body, one or two is expected to wake up at some point. Okay, one or two of these viruses is expected to wake up in your body at some point. And if there's a way to make sure that it wakes up at a rapid pace, this is where I believe, this is my belief, the 5G towers come in. Right? In New York City, they have 5G towers right there by the tunnels. They have 5G towers on the bridges. They have 5G towers on the Empire State Building. They have 5G towers where they've now built the new world trade. Brooklyn Bridge, 5G towers. Coming down towards the Brooklyn Bridge, 5G towers. What is in our atmosphere? Tritium. Tritium is radiation, a gas, a radioactive gas that falls into our drinking water supply. You use that with the 5G tower as a booster, it's going to wake up these viruses in your body. And so for what it is, it's the influenza that has went through so many different metamorphoses, name changes, swine flu, bird flu, West Nile, now corona, now from coronavirus to COVID-19. So the fighting, the bickering with each other, that is less than a drop of water, less than a drop in the ocean. It's minute. It's minute. It's not. I'm telling you, it's very minute. Ebola also. Oh, that's something. Oh, thank you, David Corey. That's something that I I'm supposed to also go look into, to go back and look up back the symptoms of Ebola and compare it to Corona and the Spanish flu, influenza. Exactly, it is an all-out war. I do agree with that. But the war, the fights that we're fighting in house with each other, is something that needs to stop. Do we have folks that looks like us that is with the opposition? Yes, we do. But are you going to continually go at them every single day, knowing that they're put out here to distract you from what it is that you are supposed to be focusing on? Why let them distract you? Why let them take away from your focus? Sometimes the best way to deal with someone is just to ignore them. Period. And deal with what you have to deal with. That's it. Now, remember a couple years ago, I shared the video with you guys of the former governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura, showing you the millions of coffins that these people have stockpiled. Now you're seeing why they have the coffins. You're seeing it being put into effect right now. Right? And before you let anyone put anything in your body, research it. One thing I did get from Sister Phoenix was, I don't remember if some of you guys remember, where she said when she goes to the doctor, she has a disclaimer where the doctors has to sign it to let her know what's in the vaccine, what is it made of. And that's something that I started exercising. And you'd be surprised how many of these doctors don't want to sign that disclaimer. And then you find the ones that do sign it and let you know what's in the vaccines. And the ones that are open and let you know, I suggest that's the doctor you keep. The ones that make a big deal out of it don't want to sign it, don't want to tell you what's in the vaccine, or just don't know. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. Codex Alimentarius. Rima Leah Bow. She met with Jesse and left the same day. Okay, okay. So little things that you can do to take precautions, right? Little things that you can do to take precautions. You thought Phoenix was my wife? Where did y'all get that from? I don't. And just to put it back out there again, I have no issues with her. None. I have no issues with our sister. No, we were close. We were close. We were very good friends. Don't get me wrong. We were very good friends. She's still. That's. I mean, look. Everyone is still. All of you guys are my brothers and my sisters. She's still my sister. At the end of the day, we don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to see eye to eye on everything. We don't. But we don't have to sit here and waste time warring with each other. It's look. If this is the side of the line that you're on, and this is the side of the line I'm on, I respect the side that you're on, and you respect the side that I'm on. You know what I mean? And that's that. But like I said, it's the intent of the person. Does the person have goodwill for the people, for their self? With the information that they're putting out, is it for the best? You just look at the intent of a person. That's it. You know. Yeah, I have no issues with our sister. I have no issues with her. No. I just, like I said, because of all the drama that was going around, sometimes you have drama that's going around, and then a person can come say this and a person can come say that, right? And you start falling for what everyone is coming and saying, and some of the things aren't true. And then you start looking at everyone suspect. You see what I'm saying? So I just decided just to pull myself away from all of that. You know what I mean? From all of that. No more misunderstandings. No more looking at anything suspect. No more. None. That's all. It's like, how to describe it? Yeah, you just take yourself away from the drama. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to step outside to look inside to see what's going on. That's all. And I'm telling you guys, what's going on right now, what's going on in the world today, a whole cool network, honor, brother, honor. What's going on in the world today? Whatever issues you guys have with each other, it's minor compared to what's happening right now. Like I said, my mother, she lost 6 patients, 5 co-workers. And the facility that she works in, the basement is stockpiled with bodies that they haven't even told people about yet. Okay. So this isn't he said, she said information. A lot of these facilities are purposefully neglecting, treating people because they want them to die, for the numbers to go up. Okay. I remember April 1st, a CNN reporter, and I'm going to play that clip for y'all in the next live. A CNN reporter said to Cuomo, Trump says that you have warehouses filled with ventilators. And mind you, before April 1st, Cuomo was pleading for ventilators. The hospitals need ventilators. A ventilator, because the virus attacks the respiratory system, it makes it hard for you to breathe. when you let it fester and go to a certain level. So the ventilator is to help you breathe. Okay? Cuomo claimed they didn't have any. April 1st, when that reporter asked him that question, April 3rd, he put in an executive order for ventilators to be taken from other hospitals to be shared with other hospitals. Mind you, in one warehouse is about 500 ventilators he has. How many people has died before April 1st up until now because he was lying about having these ventilators or act like he didn't have any? Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on. But the sheeps let this man talk his way out of it. The sheeps let him talk his way out of it. People are dying because of lack of care and neglect. That's why these numbers are skyrocketing. When you read up on the history of any virus, a virus dies in heat. It's warming up. And now that it's getting warm, they're saying that the death rate in New York is dropping because it's getting warmer. That's why. So when it's not wide, look at little Jamaica has 3 million people. New York City has more people than Jamaica has, or New York State has more people than the island Jamaica. And Jamaica only have about 32 cases, 2 deaths. Do you know why? The sun naturally kills viruses. They barred you from going to the beaches where the sun is the hottest. Salt water is also a viral killer. And they stopped you from going there. Some states lifted that ban. So it is not that you're being helped. It is that what they're doing, some of these folks, is to make sure that the virus spreads. Social distancing don't mean shit. I watched a nurse literally break down this thing. She put her gloves on. She put her gloves on and she put some paint in a container because she was making a demonstration. So she said, well, okay, here you go. You have your gloves on. You have your mask on, right? And then you're going to the grocery store. You touch the door of the grocery store that the next person just touched that they have on gloves. You touch the food items on the shelf, right? With your gloves. Mind you, you touch the door that the next person touched with that they have on gloves. So whatever that person had, you done contracted it on the glove that you're wearing. You're touching the items on the shelf, and someone else behind you is coming and touching it behind you. Then you're scratching your nose. Then you're touching your face. Then you're touching your cell phone. Social distancing don't mean shit. Exactly, at American Airwax. It's about your immune system. It is how strong your immune system is. When I hear certain island folks that's passed away, because someone that grew up in our community back home passed away from this. Some people come to the mainland and live in the big cities and lose touch of their ancestral ways as far as remedies that we will use back home. There's brothers and sisters in the South. Like I said, I made a couple stops before I went to Orlando. I stopped in South Carolina. That still hold on to their ancestral remedies. Yeah. And once you understand a virus, it's to break down the immune system. Mind you, the human body is having a viral overload because every time they give you a vaccine, it looks like there's a hidden virus within these vaccines. So you have multiple viruses in your body. So if your body is supposed to be focused on fighting this one virus, but then there's multiple others in there, that means your body's overworked. Your immune system is not strong because it's stretched thin. Okay? This is what you call smart viruses, right? It's stretched thin. So you have to assist the body with what you put in your body. Okay? You have to assist the body with what you put in your body to help keep it strong. Couple hot step honor. So if you're not doing that, you are breaking down your body. You're more open to sicknesses. Give me 1 second. Let me get some water. Where's my water? Water. So yeah, right? You can't sit here and say you have this symptom, that symptom, and you're not stopping it. First of all, you know what? My mother doctor, and a lot of respect to that woman. My mother's doctor sent her a text message when we was away. Yeah. And she sent her this text message and she told her, look, don't take no ibuprofen, don't take no Motrin, don't take this, don't take that. This speeds up your heart rate. This does so and so with your blood, so and so and so. So with this virus that's going around, if you take certain particular type of pills, that you're doing yourself more harm than good. Okay. The only thing she told her to take was extra strength Tylenol for cold and flu. Extra strength Tylenol for cold and flu. Anything else that my mother's taking is the oregano oil that I put in her water. Oregano oil that I put in her water. Black seed oil. We got a whole bunch of Cersei that came up from Jamaica the other day. We have some soursop leaves that came up from Jamaica the other day. We have some what do they call it? A heart what? They call it heart something. Hearts. Damn, I can't remember the name of it. It's heart something that just came up. I didn't even get a chance to even look at that yet. I gotta when I go back to New York, that I'm gonna be able to get some of those things, right? And this is what we've been doing. I got some sea moss, right? And I got some herbs soaking right now, making tincture out of the herbs right now. I think so, Joel Jaguar. Honor, brother, honor. I think so, right? My mother has her turmeric. These things for folks who experience cold chills, back cold chills, and then you feel warm and cold at the same time, right? You feel warm and you feel cold at the same time. We call it ego back home. Ego is what we call it. And what we use like the Ray and Nephew white rum. We take a cork of it. Anytime we have those feelings, we pour it in the middle of the top of our head. If you got a lot of hair like I do, you part that hair and you make sure that it hit the scalp and you rub it. You rub it on your head, right? You take it, you rub on the bottom of your feet, you soak it on the bottom of your feet, both feet, you rub it on your chest. You wrap up in a blanket and you're going to have to sweat this virus out. Some people when they're hit with that fever, they don't know what to do to assist the body so that they don't burn out. Some people don't know what to do, so they give up. And when they give up, the body gives up. You see what I'm saying? And then some people, they'll start feeling a little better, and the first thing they do is go outside. That's where you messed up. These are simple little things that a lot of folks just lost their way. And then another thing, when you rub it, when you put it on your head, You rub it on your chest, the bottom of your feet. You take some and you inhale it. Rub some up in your hand and you smell your hand. Deeply inhale it. Ray and nephew white rum. So when the ancestors would say they don't drink spirits, because this is how they use it. Medicine. Medicine. When you're making tincture, I found some videos the other day. I shared some with Brother American Arawat of how to make tincture. And some of these videos showed me how to improve on the tinctures that one makes. And you use vodka or 100 proof or the 175 to 100 proof vodka or rum, Ray and nephew rum. Yeah. And you soak the herbs in that. And once all the medicine is pulled from it, you strain it a couple times. And you have your vials of your liquid medicine, like how they used to do back in the day with the ancestors when they store their vials of their medicine, the most potent forms of medicine. That's why some places they made making tincture illegal. Anything that is good for you, the corporation or any entity, any artificial entity will deem evil because it's healthy for the body. Little things people could do to save their lives, they don't know how to do it. And if you don't know how to do certain little things and you go and you 100% depend on a test that is not 100% accurate, they still don't have a cure or a vaccine for you yet. So these people that are recovering from this stuff, how are they recovering from it? How are they recovering from it? They're recovering from it because once they know what to do to not make this thing affect their way of breathing, and they know how to assist the body, they'll recover. You just have to tough it out. And you really do have to quarantine. The government shouldn't have to tell you to quarantine yourself when you're sick. If you have the common cold, even if it's the common cold, you're supposed to stay away from other people because they might get it. They shouldn't have to tell you to wash your hands. Huh? They shouldn't have to tell you that if you're going to sneeze into a napkin or something so that it don't travel. It shouldn't have to tell you that. So it's not only negligence, but it's the fact that there's just people out there that's just nasty, which is why this thing is spreading. So it's that's how I tell folks out there, man. Just be safe. The things that we bicker and we argue about is very small to what's happening and to what's going on. Okay. There's places like Brother Lone Wolf, Aboriginal Lone Wolf. He did a video showing the hospitals in Chicago, the major hospitals, that they're empty. But yet still they extended the quarantine in Chicago. I drove around the other day where I'm at. The hospitals are empty, but yet still they have quarantine out here. And there's specific hospitals that are full. I call them the agenda hospitals. I call them the agenda hospitals. And that's another thing. Drink a lot of liquid, a lot of water, a lot of vitamin C, vitamin D. Keep up with these things. Down. Keep up with these things. Right? When I was in Orlando, there was folks buying up toilet paper and napkins, and they left all the vitamins. They left all the vitamins. Juice your orange, juice your grapefruit. Okay? Look into things that are that are filled with that are antiviral. Hmm? There's things you can do too. You have to start becoming independent of mind. Stop being sheeps. Stop dependent on the doctors to be able to do everything for you. Yeah, American Arawak. When I saw them buying up all the toilet paper and all the napkin, and me and my cousin there picking up all the vitamin. We picked up vitamin B12, the vitamin C powder, right? The liquid vitamin B12 and the liquid vitamin C. We started picking up the vitamin D's. We started picking up all these things, and everybody looking at us strange, like, what are they doing? And I'm like, well, it is a virus. It is a sickness going around. So you're going to need to keep the immune system up, right? Blueberries, blueberries, yes. Raspberries, yes. You know, um, like right now, I boiled some Cersei last night and let it soak, and I poured some out this morning. And I got another batch of Cersei that I'm making a tincture with, also. Okay. When you're getting rid of a virus from your body, you sweat it out, you piss it out, you shit it out. It's all about cleansing the body. People, when you see those folks on those ventilators, sometimes it's not as serious as you think it is because some of these people have asthma issues that contracted this stuff. So they look like they're dying. Oh my God. Oh, look how I look. But the person has asthma. So it hits them harder than it would hit you, a person that don't have asthma, a person that don't have kidney disease, a person that don't have cancer. Like, I was literally watching folks pick up stuff they don't need. Literally. That is true. True King. That is true. It's been proven, and causes autism too. It has been proven. But I just tell you guys, just be careful out there. Be careful out there. And if you and your brother and your sister are not seeing eye to eye at the moment, just leave each other alone until you feel the time is right. All right. If your platform and another platform just don't share the same views, stay away. Stay away. All right. Honor or honor, honor. But it is what it is. We all aren't going to get along, but we can't sit here every day and fight each other when all of this is going on out here. Okay. Wake up. Wake up. That is my advice to you guys. Wake up. All right. Um. So I did find a very interesting book, which I'm going to read uh later on. All right. So let's join me back here at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm going to go over this book and a couple articles, science articles that I came across about this corona, influenza, and or corona. All right. And like I said, I went back as far back as the 1800s. So, and if folks didn't see the other lives that I did where I broke down where the first strain of corona was created in Germany. All these viruses are foreign viruses to the Americas, pretty much. All of them. They are foreign to the Americas. Even things that people tell you, well, melanated people always had this. No, not true. Not true. Viral warfare has been going on since the first wars started happening, in my opinion. It was physical, then after it's physical, it became viral. Then it went physical, then it became viral. It's like in Syria. They bombed them, then they hit them with the sarin gas. It's war. It's war. And people have to stop thinking that folks that wish to do you harm on a warlike level, it's always something foreign. That's why it says to protect you from threats foreign and domestic. Because the best way to launch an attack on someone is to do it right underneath their nose from home and blame it on the guy 20,000 miles away because there's a history. And it's so funny because in the 1800s and going back into down to even 1918, when the Spanish flu and influenza was hitting everybody worldwide, the first two places that was hit was China and America. Look at it right now. Coronavirus. China got hit with coronavirus and boom, now America has it. So this has been the game plan, always been the game plan for generations going back. Their game plan has not changed, people. It's just that folks has been dummied down and taught to be distracted by simple things. Okay? Plain and simple. Oh, at Heya Haru Aman Ray El Bay. So, I came across some information back, I think, during the 1800s, right? Was it during the French Revolution? The French Revolution, when a viral outbreak started, they killed one of their leaders. They killed a leader, just like what they did with the Iranian guy, and it caused a worldwide conflict. Then a viral attack happened, right? Now, peep this. When they killed, my opinion is when they killed the Iranian general for their military, they expected Iran to respond back so that it could have been a physical world war. Iran didn't bite into it. So, boom, here we go with the viral attack. Like these people always have contingency plans. Okay? The script don't change. It's just that people lose touch with history. Okay? People lose touch with history. And that's all. I don't care if it's called a viral attack, chemical warfare, bio warfare, semantics. Plain and simple. Just semantics. As long as folks get what's happening, what's going on. Yeah, it's not new. It's nothing new at all. It's not new. Nothing new at all. Same game, different place. Actually, no. The players are the same. The players are the same. There have been, like I always said, even in these societies, they've always been at war with each other. Sometimes in life, some folks out there have to pick the lesser evil. I'm not telling us to do that. That's them. It's their shit, right? Yeah, I know it's called a reset. We know that it's called a reset. We know what's going on. We know that it's called a reset. And they did a reset in 1918. They did a reset all over the world in 1830, 1845. Actually 1825 to 1845. They were doing resets, nonstop wars, and viral attacks or bioterrorism attacks. Okay. In 1918 to 1919, that was another reset that they did. That's why I said, at David, brother David Corey, that's their thing. If that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? I'm not telling us to do that. We don't got to pick none of no evil. Do no evil. Everybody don't know. The folks on this platform right here, they know, but everyone don't know. That's like when someone come and say, "Hey, we all when like if you drop a specific information right now, right, bushfire, and someone says to you, "Oh, I already know that." Everybody knows that. Does everybody really know it? Not because you know something don't mean everyone know it. You know what I mean? And that's what I always tell people. Stop assuming that everyone knows. Everyone don't know. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Look, when the Pope came, when Obama was in office, they were supposed to give back the inheritance. Obama was supposed to have done that. He didn't do it. Right? Um, when the Pope went to the West Indies, the Caribbean, the West Indian Islands, it was to let the governor generals and prime ministers of those islands know that they're supposed to give back their inheritance. It was for the Grand Army to depart and go home. Okay? The Grand Army took hold in World War One and World War Two of the world. Even before that, there was many world wars going back down to like I said, I'm back down into the 1800s, so I can't go beyond that right now. But there were many world wars back down into the 1800s. Right? And with those world wars, the Grand Army was there. That's the Grand Army. Okay, going back to even with the Nazi war. The Nazi war wasn't just in Germany; it was in Middle East. It was involving Chinese, Russians, uh, um, Brits, Canadians, Middle Eastern countries. Right? It was that was another world war. Unmute. No, that was another world war. Right? And that was another reset. Okay. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But that Grand Army, that Vatican Army, was told to disband and go come home. And some of them don't want to come home. Hence, every time they're supposed to leave, a viral outbreak happens. An outbreak happens. And they say that this is a war on the coronavirus. This is a war on influenza. This is a war on poverty. This is a war on drugs. Right? And they stay. Wake up, man. That's all I can say is wake up. Anyway, y'all, I'm out of here. Like I said, I'm 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will be going over the book that I came across and sharing some information. Okay. So with that being said, I say peace, love, light, safety to you all, and best wishes to you all. All right. See you guys later.